So here's what happened. When we talk about ego, and that's kind of like one thing, you might even name this episode about ego, but I was struggling because I was just like, why in this time when I'm finally going to perform a song that I wrote years ago, have been waiting for the platform, do I have to remix it? And I know that Diva Mile might need a little bit longer time to do it exactly the way I want her to do it.
That's what he thinks.
Well, I thought, right?
Yeah.
Just because you only go by what you have experienced, and then you're kind of like,
yeah.
well, maybe that's going to be the same here. But beyond that, I literally had to call my father because I was like, I am thinking about this wrong. I felt I was in error. I felt that I had an attitude about it that was not healthy for a productive marital relationship, because it wasn't an attitude of support. It was an attitude of ego that said, this is my moment and my own wife is infringing on it. And then I said, Lord, that's not correct. There's something that's not correct about this. And I know maybe people out there listening to this or watching this like, yeah, you think so? It's not correct. She's your wife. She's your flesh to flesh. She's your other half. But
bone to bone.
Right. But I think when you don't restructure your mind out of the single mindset, out of the artist mindset, out of the me mindset, you will make those mistakes. And I think I'm not the only person who's had the ego trip
You're human.
in a marriage, but it was actually alarming to me because sometimes you think you have something under control and you don't. So when I spoke to my father, one thing he said that was so poignant, of the many wise things he said, was, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but your song is no longer your song. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man. He was my father's over, and he's like, yeah, brother, yeah. So that song is you and Diva, you and your wife's song. I'm like, man, and admittedly, so in my mind, I'm like, what are you talking about? I done wrote the song how many years ago? Me and my wife's song, but it was such a lesson because I called him for that reason. Like, he's been married for over 30 years, and I'm just thinking to myself, if I'm going to take any advice, it's going to be from somebody who has a successful marriage and who lives in a peaceful marriage. It doesn't mean they don't fight or quarrel or whatever it is, but I know that they still work and they still respect each other.
Yeah.
So when I sat with it and I prayed about it, I was like, Lord, no. Whatever I'm thinking Diva Mile is going to do or not do, whatever I'm imagining this song to do or take me to the stratosphere, or this is my opportunity to be that solo star in Asia, put that aside and remember that you got married, you're in a commitment, you're in a covenant, you have a child now. If anything, be an example to her to say, this is how you share, especially music that isn't, not only is it not my song, it's neither one of our songs. This song is, now that it's been released, it's the world song. Yeah. It's a song that God gave me, that even though it's a love song or even a song of heartbreak, it's something that was not, it came from God. Yeah. So if I really have this kind of demonstrative way of looking at it, like ownership is all mine, I'm not going to get what I'm anticipating out of the song. I'm just going to get that self-gratification. But if I surrender it to God,
and that's exactly what you did. I didn't even know you called your father that evening.
Okay.
Because when we talked about the song situation, it was during the day with the team. And so it wasn't something that happened right away. No. It literally, we spent the whole day, and that's something you were thinking about. I was as well. And instead of coming right at you and say, well, why can't you share your song? I was really... Something in my heart said, Diva Mile, give this to the Lord, because I understood what you were feeling and I understood what you desired. Yeah. And I was so willing to allow you to experience that.